Welcome back to the Leather Apron podcast. I'm Kyle.
I'm Reese.
I'm Alice.
I'm Richard.
You're death incarnate. Today we're talking about overrated, underrated movies. Who wants to start? About overrated stuff, things we don't like.
Avatar.
Papyrus.
Avatar.
The last Airbender, or
No, that movie's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
or the blue
That's
alien?
underrated.
I'm talking about the elongated tree Smiths.
And what about it do you think is
I
overrated?
don't understand why it was such a
I
monumental
really liked
piece of cinema.
3D.
I think it was the tech behind it hadn't been seen to that degree before. I mean, in terms of story, it's nothing new, but I
No,
think,
it's basically Fern Gully.
yeah, or Dances with Wolves, but the technology behind it had never been seen before. Kind of like The Matrix, I guess, when that came out. People were like, oh my god.
I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
I
a movie.
like the film.
3 hours of
It's
Smurfs in the trees.
Was it 3 hours or was that the extended?
Probably extended, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
No matter what the cut, it feels like 3 hours of Smurfs in the trees.
Does the runtime affect your opinion on it? Because Endgame is quite
It
long.
depends on the story, and to me, the story didn't warrant that
That
long.
Fair enough.
It just wasn't. I'd seen it before in Fern Gully and also kind of in Atlantis, the Lost Empire. It's just I didn't understand when I saw it all the hype.
So I take it you're not that excited for the next 5 coming.
I'm not watching them.
What do you think, Reese?
Milking it. I thought it was okay. It was definitely more for the technical side.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, apparently they want the second and third one to be 3D without the 3D glasses.
So it's just normal.
No.
it's gonna be on one of those Virgin TVs. They're like 3D.
They're just
You
going to perform
have
it
to
live
look.
It's
every time.
theatre.
It's
Oh,
just
shit.
theatre at that point.
And I don't really know
Just
what
have dance
more there
being
is to
like,
tell.
please help me. I've been doing this for
Mm.
all day.
But I mean, how many awards did it win? A lot.
I mean, it won. Yeah,
A fair few.
yeah.
So yeah, it probably comes down to award season tech. Because didn't James Cameron have that one written like years prior?
I think he came up with the idea 15 years before in a dream. Hence why there's so many weird dream sequences in the film. And then just need to wait for technology to come up. I think Paul, when that came out, I think that might have been a test.
Paul?
Paul, because the alien.
Oh,
way-
the Seth Rogen
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Right, yeah.
The way that they digitally made the alien, kind of similar to how they've done it with Avatar. I think that film was like.
I thought Paul came out after
I
Avatar.
can't remember.
I think it did.
There's a film with long, slender aliens that James Cameron used as like a test thing for Avatar before. actually
Paul isn't
filming it.
slender or tall.
No, I don't know where that came from then.
So who wants to take the next overrated?
Black Panther for me.
I agree.
I
as well.
I mean,
Completely agree.
it was fine, but there was. I mean, it was one of those films when it came out. If you didn't like it, you were labelled as
A racist.
a racist.
Yes.
I
and a
mean,
bigot.
obviously, the film for, for the right reasons, it should be praised for that. But in terms of a film and story, it just wasn't that interesting. I didn't think the effects were that great either.
I just thought it was like
I-
an
I-
above average like Marvel film.
Yeah.
I don't know where
Yeah.
the complaints of CGI come from because I don't see much of a problem with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, I thought the performances were on
The
par.
acting and the cast I thought were really
The
good.
fella who played Killmonger, what's his name? He was in Creed.
Yeah, he was
Mike
Child
John-
Gambino.
No, it's not
That's-
Child-
Michael
it's not
Johnson, Michael
That's
Jordan,
it, yeah.
Michael
No,
Jordan.
it's neither of those people.
Oh,
Isn't it not?
No,
Okay.
Do a podcast on
Michael
film,
Jordan.
and none of us know what we're
it's not
talking
Michael
about.
Jordan. Michael Jordan was in Space Jam.
Oh, I don't know.
It's the same like name. It's
It's the
close.
It's
same
Michael
name, I
B.
think.
Jordan, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's 2 different people.
Yeah, but you can't just say Michael Jordan. You need to put the B in there, otherwise you don't know. Anyway,
People know.
well, anyway.
I mean, he was good.
Yeah,
He's what we're
he was
getting at.
cool. I was upset that once again it's another franchise that wasted Andy Serkis on its second outing. He was really cool.
Yeah.
I thought the idea of it being monumentally praised for an all-black cast was kind of questionable because things like, I don't know, like, for example, Boys in the Hood.
Most of Spike Lee films.
Yeah, like, other films had done
Andy
it.
Serkis isn't black.
Yeah, I mean it was.
Neither is Martin Freeman.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was not an all-black cast.
I mean, I think it was. I
Predominantly.
think it was labelled the first black superhero film, and this highlight. Well, there was, even though it wasn't very good. There's Catwoman.
Lion King on
came out.
Broadway, guys.
Yeah, it was the same as they were like, oh, it's the first superhero movie to be up for an Oscar. It's like, did everyone forget about Dark
Dark
Knight?
Knight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, I think there's a lot of politics thrown at the film because politics, and that
It
kind
felt.
of overshadowed.
I agree with that. I think if it had just been advertised in the media as a superhero movie, it would have done really well. But I think you're right. The fact that it was so politically charged and that so much politics came into it, it kind of ruined it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It wasn't
the thing.
fun anymore.
Yeah, it was sort of like they saw that there was an opportunity to go, look how like socially aware we're being. Look, aren't we good?
Yeah.
When really it's like, okay.
Bearing in mind this is
I
these
wouldn't-
opinions are coming from 4 white people.
Yeah, I,
Speak for yourself.
hey, based on this weather, I look Mexican.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say something then. See, you just stole my you stole my brain patterns based on that. Yeah, no, it's like you want to consider like, oh, we'll make Superman black, we'll make Wolverine black. You don't go into like Black Panther and go, we'll make him white because apparently that's wrong. What? Someone explain this to me without.
I feel like we're getting into a very dangerous territory now
Nah.
about race.
There's no such thing as bad publicity. Ask Roman Polanski.
Oh, God.
Okay.
I think it had the opportunity to be a really, really, really good superhero movie, and
I don't know.
although it is important to have black representation in the media,
Yeah.
I don't think it should have been advertised as that. It was a superhero movie. It wasn't a political campaign.
And also copied Lion King storyline.
There we go.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, but then that copied Macbeth. So,
Yeah.
It wasn't Macbeth, was it?
Yeah.
No, it was Hamlet.
Oh yeah.
Ah.
yeah.
Kind of Macbeth, though.
Yeah.
Kind of Macbeth.
Reese, what do you think overrated?
Oh shit. Put me on the spot.
It's not on the
I mean, the
spot.
list is right there.
There
You
is
could
a-
Oh, there's
have,
a
there's a cheat sheet.
We have a
I'll
cheat
list.
sheet.
I'll
We've done
put
our
the
research. We're good.
It's based off one poll on one website that people upvoted.
But
So it's
we're
got
going to
something
steal it
right
and say it's ours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We thought about
Um,
these things.
Anything? I mean, if there's something on there you don't think should be on that list, you can argue that.
Yeah,
I think,
that's a
I
good-
think La La Land is overrated.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I strongly disagree with that.
Yeah, sheer
I-
disagreement.
I haven't seen it.
I just preferred Whiplash.
That's,
Yeah, but Whiplash wasn't a musical. Well, La La Land wasn't really. That's the one thing I did question was they were like, oh, La La Land's a musical, and it was like it was very rare. It had
Yeah.
like proper musical moments.
big musical themes in it, particularly with that last,
Yeah,
the way it ended.
yeah.
Um,
Oofed.
Yeah.
I mean,
You,
I
just
you have
like-
some insight to it, Alice. I've explained it to you.
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts
Well,
on that?
what I've gleaned from the one conversation we've had about La La Land, it didn't appeal to me when it was being advertised. It doesn't appeal to me now. But it looks like one of those things that is just sort of churned out of the Hollywood musical machine.
No,
like-
I don't think so because based on churning out of musical machines, I'd say Greatest
I was
Showman
about to
is
say, I
more.
think Greatest Showman is
Yeah.
more churned out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more popular. I think the songs are more catchy, but this.
I
film
think
was
La La Land's
better.
more drama filled
Yeah.
and a little bit
Yeah.
more, for me anyway, heart wrenching. I thought
It's
it
a
was
bit
really
more
sad.
mature story.
Yeah.
Particularly with that ending.
If you're not really, I guess, into dramas that much with no high stakes, I guess it's not really gonna be for you.
I feel like I should watch it before I
What's it-
like
Yeah.
have a solid opinion on it. But
Yeah, I think one of the funniest moments though is when Ryan Gosling's like, I want to be a jazz pianist, and then ends up being in like this jazz techno band instead.
Yeah.
Well, I only
I
saw
think
it.
maybe if I watched it again, I might have more of a enjoyment of it. But when I came out of it, I just didn't have much emotion for it. I didn't think it was good or bad.
Meh.
It was meh.
It was
We
meh.
both
Yeah.
lean towards musicals anyway. So
Yeah,
it
we
was
like
more-
our musicals.
I'm
probably
not
more
a big
up our
fan of
street.
musicals.
Sweeney Todd, thoughts?
What?
Sweeney
Sweeney
Todd,
Todd.
thoughts?
I need to watch it again.
Fair. No, I'd see for me. I think La La Land was. Because Overrated, I guess, because of all the attention it got based on Academy Award
Well, yeah, it was like you
nominations
said
and
earlier.
stuff.
It was award season, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the thing. Because I think it's underrated based on the fact that probably many people might not have seen it. The mainstream audience may not have caught that one. But then, based on the amount of awards it was up for, it could be considered overrated.
Yeah.
Because that's the danger. Like, you can sort of tell when award season is upon you. Because all the
You get a lot of historical dramas out where they kind of have
movies-
to give an Oscar to it because it's based on a real person.
and the movies kind of go from being happy family stuff to being serious melodrama sort of
Yeah.
stuff. Unless you're Black Panther and you get 3 anyway.
Did that win any?
Yeah, it won 3. Well, it was
Black
like
Panther
best costume, best
costume.
musical score, I think, and then
It did have some pretty badass
set
music,
design, I
remember.
think, was another one. That's just off the top of my head. Please don't crucify me if I'm wrong, and please don't label me as a racist.
I mean, if Suicide
Disclaimer.
Squad, if Suicide
Have you
Squad can win Oscars, then anything can, really, can't it?
Pretty sure the original Beauty and the Beast was like nominated for a couple of Academy Awards.
Okay then, so
Remember
Next.
that?
thank you. No, I haven't gone with one. What have I got? Overrated.
You had a few.
Dunkirk.
That's another
Come
one. I
for
haven't-
me,
I
scrub
haven't seen
boards,
it.
you-
haven't seen that, so I
Haven't
can't
seen
say.
it.
Oh, just based
Yeah.
on everyone's reaction to the
I think-
trailer, I was like, well, what is so special about
It's
this?
Christopher Nolan.
It's Christopher
Movie set
Nolan. It,
memes.
it really is. It's like everyone. There's a certain like group that just love him.
Like Tool fans.
It's the way. It's like who?
Tool
Tool
fans.
fans.
Right.
That's an entire podcast for another fucking day.
Yeah, anyway, continue.
It's the style that that they all just fucking crave, and it's just quite a bland film, really. It's very like spectacle is great, but
I mean, for me anyway, like, I'm not much of a war person as it is. I'm very hit or miss. But, like, stuff like Hacksaw Ridge got me. That was fantastic. Like, obviously, you've got, like, Saving Private Ryan and that, but I've only ever seen that once. But, like, I was like, okay, it's just another churned out war piece for me.
There's another one.
It was like, oh, we've got a stellar cast. Look, we've got Cillian Murphy, we've got Tom Hardy, and it's like, yeah, but so have a bunch of other movies.
But there's another World War One movie coming out. I think it's called 1914 with Cumberbatch and a bunch of other famous people. And I watched the trailer. It does look quite good, but I was like, this is just Dunkirk.
Well, it's a guaranteed
World
win,
War.
isn't it? At award
Yeah.
season, it's
Wow.
got Benedict
Yeah.
Cumberbatch in it. It's about the war. British people are gonna love it.
That's what-
No!
That's why I'm kind of just excited for the new War of the Worlds series, because I'm like,
Mm.
okay, cool, we've got war stuff, but it's different because aliens.
Yeah.
Like, come on. It's like, I don't know what it is, it keeps coming up on my feed every now and again. Alice.
Is that the BBC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, it keeps coming up on my feed. It's like this game where you're, like, first person in the trenches and it's, like, proper, like, atmospheric, and then there's a crack of lightning and there's just, like, weird, like, H.P. Lovecraft, like, monsters in the trenches with you, and I was like, that looks
That looks
terrifying.
I want the new War of the Worlds to be good, though. I don't want it to.
I
be
don't
like-
think it's going to be musical, though, so be prepared.
That's the thing. I'm disappointed that it's not the musical, but
Hey, at least you've got Tom Cruise's version.
Throws the peanut butter sandwich.
we don't talk about the
It's
Tom
not a bad
Cruise bit.
version. I
It's,
quite liked
it's terrible.
wasn't that one of the underrated ones? I think all the world's was.
So
Tom
yeah,
Cruise, fight me.
Okay.
Dunkirk, not down for me.
Fair
Pass.
enough.
I felt no reason to go see it.
No.
The only reason several of my friends went to see it was because Harry Styles was in it for a brief
Oh.
amount of time.
Oh,
Yeah.
fucking hell,
It's
yeah.
like that's
Yeah.
why I was so interested in I come back to it as Hacksaw Ridge, was because it was like something different. Oh, it's a soldier that doesn't want to use a gun.
Mm.
Like how's that gonna play? It was really cool.
It was a really, really
It was
Yeah.
a good film.
It was
Yeah.
really, really good.
Yeah.
Haven't.
I think another overrated film for me, I can't say if that opinion's changed now, but I really wasn't that keen on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1
Ooh.
when it came out. I mean, I knew,
Neither was I.
I knew nothing of the film when it came out. I just heard people absolutely raving about it, and I think I rented it on Sky Movie and watched it and went, that wasn't anything amazing, I thought. And then I saw the second one and went, that was awesome, but I don't know why I can't get behind the first one. Like it's not.
Interesting.
It's a good script, good characters. Everything about it was
Have you
fine.
seen-
I just wasn't.
Have you seen the original concept art of what it was supposed to be?
I am not. No.
It was supposed to be more like how the Mandalorian looks now. It was supposed to be this like bounty hunter rogue squad of like more edgy vibe, and then
Disneyfied.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. But like, I mean, it was for me anyway. It was sort of a more obscure Marvel team
Yeah.
that not anyone would know.
The main thing was it was something different.
I think that's
Yeah.
why
New-
people loved it because
yeah.
it was in. I think it was the first Marvel space
Yeah.
film. It
Yeah.
new characters, bright new worlds.
Yeah, I mean the only thing that kind of annoyed me with both of those movies is how watered down and obsessed and how much of a meme the words "I am Groot" became. And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
You've seen
Yeah,
the
that's fair
movie.
enough.
It was
I
just-
couldn't watch Guardians of the Galaxy for so long because Groot annoyed me so much.
Yeah.
I hated that
I think
character
my
for so
dad's-
long.
I think my dad saw the trailer, sort of talking around, and just went, "Oh fucking hell!" What's what I've kind of come to? But then I think he actually quite enjoyed the film.
It was the same with Deadpool. Like as soon as that came out, like yeah, it was great, it was enjoyable. But then the people that took it too far and started like, oh look at me, I'm acting like Deadpool. It was like just
Yeah.
wind your neck in.
There's people at Comic-Con who turn up in like the weird suits.
Yeah.
If you want to be Deadpool, get cancer and die.
Oh my god. Oh. Another reason number 2 for the Richard Profanity button.
And that's an insight into our sort of jokes. If
That's the. I hope that gets cut out.
no,
I
that's
don't know,
staying.
no,
That
yeah,
is staying.
alright.
We're gonna maximise
keeping
the
that.
volume on that bit just to make sure that
Yeah.
everyone
Everyone
hears
heard
it.
that.
Am I going to have to repeat it into the
I think they heard it.
The
So
main
to
issue.
clarify, joke.
Yeah.
The main issue I had with the first Guardians movie, and mainly the second one as well, is as somebody who's into old-timey music, and by old-timey I mean like 70s and 60s and 80s, it was a little bit annoying that all of a sudden everybody was into like Cherry Bomb and Fleetwood Mac, like they were hearing it for the first
okay.
time. And I was like, they're like, oh, this is really cool new type of music. I'm like, it's been around for 30 years, and I've
Yeah.
been listening to it for
Yeah,
ages.
that's pop culture for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
like everyone was like, oh, it's that song from Guardians of the Galaxy. I was like, no, it's a song from 1985
Yeah.
from an actual
It's
band.
like AC/DC with Iron Man.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
I think I'd say we all probably aware of it and listened beforehand, but then that came out and
Yeah, it's
every
just-
action scene had some rock music over
Yeah.
it there from then forward.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it was interesting to see, for me anyway, I thought it was kind of funny how they started off with Chris Pratt as, like, shredded, he went through all this, and then, like, by Endgame he put on a bit of weight.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, so that regime stuck for Chris Pratt.
Mm.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, yeah, it was like Zoe Saldana, she was, like, almost playing another, like, Avatar role.
Yeah.
And
Like-
Lieutenant Uhura from frickin' Star Trek as well. She basically plays the same character there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
Like, the only thing that I was interested in was Bradley Cooper. He done a great job. I liked his stuff. The fact that they got Vin Diesel just to like be a talking tree that utters 3 lines. Yeah,
Batista,
like, I just-
Batista
and that-
was so good in
That
that.
Yeah.
Batista was a great,
Batista.
great
So good.
casting choice. And I didn't think he'd do that well because I see wrestler and go,
Yeah.
bloody hell. Think of The Rock, who's he's not bad, but
Generic action
Yeah.
star.
Yeah.
and Batista came along. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So funny.
He's just
Nothing goes
fun
over
guy.
my head.
Like I really enjoyed the fact that like it set up the whole Thanos stuff. It was like the first time we got to see Thanos like
Yeah.
interact with other characters, with Ronan
Yeah.
and stuff. But like I was upset that they kind of wasted Ronan.
Definitely.
Like
Yeah.
they teased him to being Captain Marvel, and he ended up being. He was one shot of reaction going, oh, we don't want to fuck with her. Pack it in, boys, we're going home.
Guardians of the Galaxy is not a movie that I expected to be brought up today, so that's really interesting.
Yeah. Justice League.
I didn't see it.
I wouldn't necessarily say overrated, but overrated. Too much hype for it. Too much going on. It was like.
It wasn't a bad film, but it
Oh,
wasn't,
yes, it was.
It wasn't great. I didn't mind it, but I think
Let's
that-
not get
that
crazy
might,
now.
That might be my inner. I'm giving it too much of a pass because I want to enjoy it, but
Yeah, there was so much going on around that movie.
yeah.
Well, according to the list, Dark Knight was overrated. So thoughts on that?
No.
To some degree, yes. I think some people hold it up to too much high esteem.
Yeah,
it's the same as Dunkirk, really, because it's Christopher Nolan.
I was going to say, is it Christopher Nolan that people
I think it's
overrate the film?
I think it comes down to Heath Ledger's performance as well.
Yeah.
That's been like glorified, put on a pedestal.
It was very good though.
Yeah, no, he was very good. Deserved the Oscar.
I mean, I think the film's still one of the best comic book.
Oh yeah,
I still remember when I first watched it and was like, holy shit, that was unlike anything I'd seen.
I kind of disagree with that point purely because for me anyway, I thought it was a detective movie. Like I want to see Batman like battle his villains, and he wasn't really. That's kind of why I liked like the brutality of Ben Affleck's one.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
What do you think, Al?
I can see definitely why people think it's overrated. It's very long.
Yes.
It's very long. It's really dark. I think when people think superhero movie, they want Iron Man and they want, flash, bang, silliness.
A bit more lighthearted.
Yeah, I don't think people were quite used to that mode of superhero.
And now that's been rinsed to death.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about the Heath Ledger aspect of it, whether it is his performance that's overrated. I think he was good. Do I think it's, this godlike, the actor of actors thing that people have elevated it to?
No.
I feel like he committed suicide has sort of added some romance to it, which is a bit weird.
Exactly. Like it was great. Like people do method acting all the time. Let's not like overlook that. Like people do method acting. Like Christian Bale with his weight loss, Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
Who's the fella? Daniel Day-Lewis. Like
Jared Leto.
Other people do it. It's just like
he
you
was
said.
Well, he was mentally ill.
Yeah. And
yeah, he wasn't.
Like it was that whole thing as well with like Jack Nicholson saying, "Oh, I warned him." It's like, what the fuck are you on about, Jack? Yours was the most campy thing since Adam West's Batman.
Yeah.
Riding a fucking shotgun on a cigar.
It deserved, I think, the majority of the praise that it got, but definitely. I definitely don't think it needs to be elevated to this impossible standard.
I feel like that's more as the film's aged.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something, like when it came out, I don't think really people obviously were thinking that way. But I think...
Well, I remember when me and my dad first saw it in cinemas, we thought it was the most boring thing.
Really?
We didn't like it. And then we watched it a second time, we were like, oh yeah, that was actually pretty good. Like, well, why didn't we like it the first time? But first time we were like, this is so boring, where's Batman? What's he doing? It's just Christian Bale. Yeah. Where's Batman?
I think outside the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films, this was the first superhero film we'd seen outside it.
X-Men.
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 I forgot about X-Men.
Everyone forgets about the X-Men.
Ow.
But I was like, holy shit, I mean, it's definitely, at the time, different. Then Zack Snyder came along.
Yeah, like, I'm not going to keep going on about the Heath Ledger's Joker because I have a whole...
You're already booked for another podcast to talk about the Joker, so you don't want to use up all your points here.
Yeah, exactly. And oh boy, they're gonna need a buzzer to make me stop.
They're gonna need like a 24-hour slot.
I'm half tempted just to like have a pint of cider just beforehand, and it'd be like, right, listen,
down a shot.
Yeah, let's go. No, yeah, I can see why. Like, I can see why Batman, like Nolan's trilogy, set up some really good stuff for like superhero movies, but then, oh man. The bland, dark, gritty stuff has been done to death.
Yes, I agree.
I think the last thing I'll say on that as well, because of how successful those films were, everything's been Batman. It's been thrown in people's faces so often, people are getting tired of it.
We need a break from Batman.
Robert Pattinson.
I'm excited.
Of course you are, you're a sadist.
I'm excited because the guy doing it is the guy that done the Planet of the Apes trilogy.
Yes,
Matt
Reeves.
I have faith in what he does because the Apes trilogy was really good. I have faith
in what he does, I just don't have faith in what Robert Pattinson does.
My argument... People said the same of Heath Ledger and look at him.
That's very true.
Sorry.
My argument with that is the casting director clearly saw something. There's an opportunity. It's like, yeah, you casted Jared Leto and everyone hated it, but the look was so different that it was good.
I like Jared Leto.
I thought
really good.
I need more before I can make a full-fledged decision on that.
We're gonna get more.
No,
I think they know what they're doing, and I think Matt Pattinson. Is it Pat?
Robert Pattinson.
Who the fuck is Matt Pattinson?
Matt Pattinson.
There's probably someone called Matt Pattinson listening to this podcast right now going, oh my god.
You're Batman, Matt. I think Robert has something to prove.
Yes.
Yeah.
That he, will try his best.
He's got he's the type of guy like everyone automatically jumps to his Twilight stuff, but the dude's got a repertoire. He can act.
Can he?
City of Gold. He's doing Lighthouse.
City of Z, I think.
Yeah, that's the one. Sorry.
Yeah.
He's doing Lighthouse with Willem Dafoe. That looks great. Like
That does look really good.
He's got the chops.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about mutton chops.
This is a great segue into another
is it going to be Twilight?
film on the overrated list, and that's Twilight.
Harry Potter fan fiction is what it is.
Shiny
Was it?
people.
Yeah, that's where the
It's where it
inspiration.
started. Or was it
No.
50 Shades?
No.
Yeah, sorry,
Twilight.
mixed up.
Yeah, 50 Shades was Twilight
Yeah.
fan fiction.
Fuck it. Twilight is Harry Potter fan fiction. It may as well be. You heard it here first.
I'm not defending Twilight in any way, but how exactly is it Harry Potter fan fiction?
Werewolves, magic.
Right, so
beards.
then... Okay, so it's... Right,
Not the beard!
there's werewolves in frickin'... I don't know.
So is that Van Helsing as well?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So it's just everything with werewolves and beards and magic, just Harry Potter fan fiction.
No, it's Universal fan fiction. We're going all the way back.
Because Universal invented beards.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Anyway.
I've read the Twilight books.
Poor soul.
They are bad. I think most of the fan base that enjoyed Twilight as teenagers now have a general consensus that it was terrible.
I think it kind of comes down to those younger audiences not necessarily seeing the
glaring errors.
No, not even that. It was the like for example, Bram Stoker's Dracula. You sort of had like Dracula like winning over Winona Ryder in a sexual manner, but like it was like that romanticized monster woman sort of thing, and younger audiences wouldn't have been necessarily made aware of that stuff. And this was their first gateway in at that, and it was something interesting, sort of like Shape of Water. It's that whole Beauty and the Beast element that could be considered interesting.
Definitely played on the hormones of like young teenage
Oh
girls.
yeah,
I
I mean
think.
this teenage. The books are for teenagers. I mean, I think this film kickstarted the whole turning teenage fiction
Yeah.
books into
Maze
films.
Runner.
Maze Runner, Hunger Games. Yeah, those are obviously the big ones.
50 Shades.
It's a teen
That's
book.
teen.
Those are
Oh, you
just-
never know.
Those are just filthy grannies that are looking for a bit of
Poontang.
beef-looking action.
I'm trying to remember much about the movies.
I
'Cause I've
remember
also seen the movies.
The only one I've seen, and I saw it in cinema, was the Part 1, Breaking Dawn Part 1, I think it was. I was like, alright.
I'm not saying they're incredibly good movies by any stretch, but just for entertainment, I do quite enjoy watching them. Just because
I mean...
it's so bad.
So
And
bad, it's so good.
yeah, it's a
kind
movie
of
like you
thing.
love to hate.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
That's yeah.
But
Yeah.
for me anyway, like, I'm an old school horror movie person. Like, my monsters need to be gory, they need to be outlandish, because they're horror. Like, it's
Yes.
it's swoon
Not
inducing.
sparking like a disco ball in the fucking sun.
Well, there we go. Robert
If-
Pattinson's the worst Batman ever. It took him 12 years to become a bat.
If you are,
Get out of this room.
if you are
Thank
gonna
you. That's my time.
talk about monsters being monsters, then are we just going to ignore the fact that there's a lot of romance in Dracula?
No, not at all. Not at all. But
Well, I
like
think in
at the same time, it's like Nosferatu as well. It's like the whole thing is like, what was it? It was turning women crazy sort of thing. There was a lot to it rather than just like it was. How do you put it? It was chicken soup for the teenage soul.
Yeah. Chicken soup for the teenage soul. Yeah.
Cover of the box set.
You thought it
Yeah.
pandered a little bit.
Yes.
There we go. I think I agree. It definitely pandered towards
But-
teenagers.
How can we be angry? Because as filmmakers and soon-to-be publishers, if we saw a gap in the market, we take that opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's no denying obviously the hard work that went into it,
Yes.
but
And it skyrocketed Kristen Stewart's and Rob Pattinson's careers.
It made money.
But
Yeah. And it still makes money.
Yeah.
out of everyone in that cast, Kirsten Stewart can't act. I saw it in Snow White and the Huntsman, and I was just like, it's the same thing. It's just bland.
I saw
She
it in The
was good for that
Runaways and she
role.
was good.
Don't know that one.
She was in Zathura She was good in
I
that.
can't remember that one.
So there is a space version of
Yeah, I
Jumanji.
know. I had a copy of
Was
it.
she in it? Was that her?
Yeah, it was the older sister. I think that the script that they were given would have made anybody a bad actor. It's
Yeah.
just terribly written.
Mm.
Michael Sheen was in that movie.
Yeah.
Dakota Fanning was in that movie.
She keeps cropping up everywhere, and she just doesn't look the same since Cat in the Hat.
I feel like she looks exactly the same. She's exactly the same.
How many shots?
I thought we'd have more to say about Twilight. I feel
I
like
mean,
we've been really kind to it.
There's a general consensus that they're not good, but that's already known, so I don't think there's much we can
It doesn't claim
but
to be anything other than what it is, which is
No.
a bad movie.
I mean,
Several bad movies.
it took the opportunity to do what it did.
Yeah.
It did appeal, but as for like older audiences, I don't think it was for them. I don't think it ever was.
No, it was always for 13-year-old girls.
Exactly, and I think like that's probably why it was so overrated and stuff, because like all the kids were taking their parents and their parents had to sit through it, and that's probably where most of the revenue
Yes.
came from. But yeah, hormones, bad acting, but live action Beauty and the Beast. Not really, but what
Sorry. How dare you?
Yeah,
How
but
dare you?
what I meant by that is monster and woman sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's done to death.
Yeah, of course, but it can be done differently.
Yes.
Yeah, and done well.
Yes.
Shape of Water.
Stop talking about The Shape of Water
Never.
like it's
Such a
the
good
only
film.
movie ever that's been good.
It's the only film where a woman fucks a fish.
Creature from the Black Lagoon.
That one. There's probably
Kind
one.
of similar.
Yeah.
Fucking Hellboy.
As overrated or
Two.
underrated?
No.
Hellboy 2 overrated.
No, isn't that where she fucks a fish?
No, she doesn't. They just have a
Oh.
romantic.
Yeah, she has a romantic connection with someone.
Off
So
off the
weird.
camera.
Off camera.
Yeah.
There's a bit of.
I
there's a bit
mean,
of-
Alright, we're going into weird
Mermaid in the Dead
territory
Lake.
now. We're going
Okay.
into weird territory now.
Do we want to start on underrated? Do the flip side of this coin.
Yeah, sure.
Alright.
For me, underrated, I'd have to go with Van Helsing. Hugh Jackman's Van Helsing.
I agree, that brings back memories.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Monster
I haven't
movies.
seen it.
It, had, like, it was like every monster in one
old school
movie.
classic monster in
Yeah.
one movie. I mean, I can see why people are like, yeah, it's not great, but
Yeah, of
I
course.
have really good memories.
I remember the
watching
PS2
it.
game.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, Christ
This is the
alive.
thing. How much of this
It's
is
based-
is based on the fact that you watched it when you were younger, and
Yeah.
how much of this is based on whether it was actually a good film or not?
I mean, I could watch it now and still say it's a
I
good
don't.
film.
Yeah, because the thing is, I don't think it's entertaining.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that.
It's
literally
it's
what it is.
entertaining. It's not like it's got glaring errors in its plot.
Not in the plot. I will.
Well,
agree
then
with-
what's your
Hugh
point?
Jackman's hair. That's my one massively glaring error that I couldn't.
Yeah, because of that hair, we ended up with his terrible wig in X-Men 2. That's all I'll
the
say.
hyper-sexualized female character. You
Yeah.
can definitely see that it was made in 2008.
I think it's
It's
earlier than that.
2004.
There we go.
Yeah.
That was just.
You know, it's kind of got that underworld,
Yeah.
Resident Evil kind of,
Like gothic-y.
got the gothic budget kind of.
Yeah.
Really
action flick to
ambitious.
it.
I will say that it was really ambitious because, as you said, it's got so much of the monsters in it.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know what it is. It's just.
There are some cheesy bits.
Oh, Gabriel.
I couldn't take it seriously. That's my. But I don't think it was
Yeah.
meant to be taken
I
seriously.
think, I mean, I see it as nothing more than just a bloody entertaining
Fantasy.
Film. Yeah, fantasy
Yeah.
horror film with classic monsters I like.
Yeah.
Which-
There we
What
go.
about you, Rhys?
The only the underrated stuff I know is like stuff that people haven't seen.
Oh, fair.
Or yeah,
Well, they're underrated
really-
to you, so they still matter.
So bad driving.
If people could see Reese's face right now, he looks so broken.
Crawling in
Yeah.
my
Then
skin.
we'll get a copyright strike.
Oh fuck.
I mean,
Don't demonetize me, please.
just I don't know, like fucking Mother. That's not the American one.
Well, Darren
Although-
Aronofsky's.
not the American one.
Oh,
Not the.
Not
It's a South Korean one.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
I was going to say, are a lot of your films Japanese?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
I just liked it. Yeah, and people should all watch it. Everyone should watch it.
Yeah.
Can you give us a brief
Um,
synopsis?
And why you think it was underrated?
Because it's from a different market. That's the problem.
Fair enough.
Yeah, a guy gets a girl gets, like, someone chucks a rock at a girl's head and she dies, while this boy is like out getting drunk and shit, and he gets accused of her murder, and the mother is out to prove them wrong.
Oh, okay. That's
And it's about how far you would go to how far she would go to prove innocence.
Oh, that sounds fairly
Sounds quite
decent.
interesting, actually.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind watching that.
Yeah, that
It
sounds-
gets fucking weird, alright?
Okay.
That's-
Of course it
I don't
does.
expect nothing less from Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah, or Korean.
I mean, the guy did win the Palme d'Or or whatever, but a
Okay.
lot of his other stuff is really good. And yeah, Memories of Murder, that's another one of his, like a murder mystery. I think it is sort of based on a true story. No one's really, like, they still haven't found the murderer or the, like, and it's all about.
Have you got an underrated that people might know?
Fuck.
Anything at all.
I can come back to you if you want.
Yeah, I'll have to think about it.
Atlantis, The Lost Empire.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's one of the better Disney movies that for some reason didn't do well.
I think it was during. Oh, go on, Rich.
Couldn't that be argued that's similar to Avatar? Because it's foreign people coming
Yeah,
to a
but
new
but
land with blue people there.
Atlantis
as well.
did it
Those are
first, that was my
things.
point.
When Fern Gully done that.
They did.
That's true.
Did Fern Gully did it first?
Fern Gully came out when I was a kid.
Smurfs.
How old do you think you are compared to me? We're only 2 years apart.
Mate,
we were
I'm like-
we were children at the
I'm
same
like
time.
72 and you're like 12.
We were saying, oh, it came
It's a
out when I
legal
was a kid.
relationship,
Yeah,
he
so was
swears.
I. I was a kid when you were a kid, so that doesn't mean anything.
Anyway.
I don't think it did well, Atlantis, because it had guns in it. For one thing, it was one of the only Disney movie to have machine guns, animated anyway.
Clayton had a shotgun in Tarzan.
He didn't have a machine gun, and Atlantis came out first, I think.
No, it didn't.
Are you sure?
Tarzan was 1999, I think. 95 or 99.
I'm
I think it's
pretty sure
98 actually. I think it's 98.
I think Atlantis came out like
2002?
no earlier than that.
No.
Shut up.
Yeah, it was the first movie I ever saw in the cinema, so it was like 2000, 2001.
Oh.
It's got a bit more of a serious storyline in comparison to like Sleeping Beauty or
Yeah.
Lilo and Stitch
It was that weird period though when there were a couple of like Disney.
that sort of went under the radar.
Yeah, like
Emperor's New Groove.
Emperor's New
Brother Bear.
Groove, Brother Bear, Treasure Planet.
Yeah.
Which I feel like it's really missed out on because the characters are so good, and in an hour and a half they managed to create really, really compelling characters that have full-fledged like arcs. And the female protagonist is really cool, definitely before her time.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it's such a good film, and I don't know why it's not more popular.
Almost
Paperclips.
Almost feel like that era of Disney is probably more worthy of remakes than the classic shit.
I
Yeah.
completely
No one
agree.
wanted a Lion King remake, and it
Didn't
looked
need it.
amazing, but it was complete shit in every other department.
Yeah. Whereas you look at like Treasure Planet or Emperor's New Groove or Atlantis, and they
Live
are
action
they
Emperor
are
New Groove.
they are so worthy of live actions, and they'd be so good for live
And
actions.
it also shed a light on the old ones as well.
Exactly.
Because no one is as aware of those ones as they are the stuff from the 90s.
Yeah.
Well, you take it. It was a live action Lady and the Tramp on Disney Plus.
I watched the trailer for that yesterday.
Didn't look that bad.
I didn't like it. I looked at it
It
and
doesn't
went,
need to happen.
exactly.
It
That's
doesn't need
partly
to
what was the pen,
happen.
and I was like, this at the moment is up there with cats for me, based on trailers.
Oh my god, don't talk to me about cats. Just stop.
Just why? Why Lady of all the movies that you could have made? It's not even a live action film.
No.
Why do they keep calling these things live action when they're completely animated?
This is probably a discussion for another podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, Atlantis, The Lost
Yeah.
Empire.
Where'd you going?
I've got a list there.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I
good.
mean,
We've got a cheat
I'm
sheet.
not-
I do like a good cheat sheet, to be honest.
It's like we're copying Richard's homework. What did you
fucking put them in the chat.
We are really professional. We I think that some of the charm with this podcast is the fact that we just we
No
wing
idea
it.
what we're doing.
We wing it. We have a good
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Which means
Why
all
is
of
that
our,
a-
which
why
means
is that
all
a
of
bad
our
thing?
reactions are completely
I
genuine.
have two.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, yeah, Bronson.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
Agreed.
You just had.
I don't have Bronson written down here, but I've got another film by the guy that
Oh.
directed it.
Drive, no.
No, actually, it's
The
a
one
really
with gods
unknown
on
one.
it.
Oh, only
No,
God forgives,
no.
isn't it?
No? Oh,
No.
alright.
I've told you that
And-
before.
Nightcrawler,
Nightcrawler. That's
yeah, I
probably
love
my favourite film.
Yeah, Nightcrawler is very
It's
good.
just such a good character.
Jake Gyllenhaal's just
story.
he does weird so well.
Like,
He's a
that
great
character's fucking fantastic.
Yeah. Because he's like sinister, but not really. He's like a narcissist, but not really.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so complex. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, Bronson as well.
Yeah.
I don't really agree. Like, as soon as a movie goes, it's blah 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 for the next generation, i.e., Hereditary being Exorcist, Bronson being Clockwork Orange.
No.
I immediately go in with skepticism because these things are completely different from
Yeah.
other things. Like, you can kind of like hope they have the same reaction, but let it speak for itself.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy was amazing
Yeah.
as
He was good,
Bronson.
Yeah.
Go on, rub it in my ass. Not like you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, Bronson definitely. I love
Bronson was
Bronson.
really good.
Yeah.
It's like it had like art house abstract weirdness, and it
Yeah.
was.
I loved it when
Tom
he
Hardy
was
as well. You know.
he just cut to like him on the stage.
Yeah.
That was such a cool part to the character as well.
A lot of love
Yeah.
went into that film. I think the people
Yeah.
who worked on it obviously really enjoyed it because it
Well,
came
it-
out so well.
Well, the thing I think it was the actual Charles Bronson sent a bit of his mustache to Tom Hardy as like a salute, sort of thing, which was really cool.
Best
They
compliment
haven't
ever.
quite gotten across how weird I am in the movie, so I'm just gonna amp it up a little
Yeah.
bit and send you my actual hair.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the only thing you wanted from it was why does he do
Yeah,
that?
that's the only thing that but if anything, that kind of adds to it. You
Yeah.
don't really get a solid reason why.
He just is.
Always leave them wanting more, I guess.
Yeah.
In that way, I think
He's
it
open for
succeeds.
discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, he's had enough. What have you got? That was an opportunity for you to progress into your
Fucking hell,
work.
Richard.
God damn it.
Right.
Should we try again?
That was a
All
segment.
Alright, he's had enough. Move on. What have you got?
I am.
Fuck's sake!
I mean, I'll just read them out. I won't go into too much detail with them unless there's one I want to particularly talk about. But Macbeth 2015 with Michael Fassbender.
Yeah.
Prometheus, which I think is very underrated. I think it got a little more stick than maybe it deserved.
Interesting.
In Bruges, I think a bit under the radar.
Definitely.
Black comedy.
Sick.
Such a good film.
This one-
Overrated.
yeah.
Oof.
Really?
In Bruges, overrated for me because everyone went on and on about it. It was so funny, and I kind of felt like it wasn't as funny as everyone made
Yeah.
out.
It's
But
definitely
that's
like
just
black
me.
comedy, like really
Definitely,
dark.
Great jokes in it, like the
Yeah.
whole part about you take that back about my see you next Tuesday kids. Hilarious, loved it. But like as for
That's
it
fair
being
enough.
so funny, like meh.
Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah.
so funny.
Yeah.
But I think as a film,
Yeah.
it was a good, like
Yeah.
well paced and all. Yeah.
Mm.
It was a good film.
I could just watch it.
What else you got?
This one, I think it's more split people, but I think the Hobbit trilogy is underrated. I think the only thing that kind of let it down was the CGI and the fact it was 3 films instead of 2. But I think music, acting, casting, everything else was fantastic. I thought.
I agree with
Yeah.
you. I feel like the faults are talked about a lot more than
That-
the
that-
things it
yeah,
actually
yeah.
succeeded
And
in.
obviously,
Yeah.
it is following Lord of the Rings, which it was never going to do.
Exactly.
But
Yeah, it was. The thing for me is, I loved the first one.
yeah,
The first one was really cool. There was a nice adventure, fantasy stuff. And then by the third one, it had this massive battle scene, which I don't think it really needed. I like this like contained
well, in
fantasy.
the book, there is a battle, but Bilbo's knocked out, so you don't see
Yeah.
ow, my elbow. You don't see the battle. You just wake up and there's the aftermath, which
Yeah.
might have worked better. But you know,
Well, I mean, like
I'm not going to say
wasn't
anything
a
else about
huge-
the
the
Hobbit.
riddles in the dark scene was just perfection.
yeah,
It's
Yeah.
so good.
Smaug for
But
me,
we kind of
and
have to acknowledge as well that like it was being rewritten on the fly as it was filming, so
Yeah,
CGI kind
yeah.
of helped fill in those gaps where like you wouldn't be able to like plan practical effects.
3 years Del Toro was going to be doing it.
I
He
wish.
dropped out last minute.
Because-
Jackson took over with it. He didn't have time to. He was doing post-production whilst filming, so it kind of led to problems.
Why did he drop out of
Because
it?
it wasn't going to get made, otherwise the studio wasn't confident enough that Del Toro would like draw enough people, so they were like, "Oh,
The person who did Pan's Labyrinth
Yeah.
wouldn't draw in.
yeah, well, that's the like, yeah, like I suppose they would have felt
They
more
wanted
comfortable
to
with
Lord of the
Jackson
Rings.
because he'd done it before, so they
Yeah.
knew what the project was going to be.
I mean, the film was kind of doomed from the start, but given its problems and just being a fan in general, I did really enjoy it in the end.
Didn't like the ending of the second one.
Oh, the second one's my favourite.
The ending was...
Yeah,
I
I am
felt
dead.
this should be a
I
TV series. Like... Oh, is it the first one?
Which
With,
one? With
the dragon?
That's the
The
second,
second one,
So
yeah.
I am fire, I am death.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
I mean, that's
so
it.
good.
But it just seems like it should be more for a TV series. Like, we should be seeing this in
I
like
mean,
maybe a month.
maybe at the time when it came out that was an issue, but you can just put the next DVD in straight away. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
want to watch The Hobbit now.
Like for me, the one thing as a closing thought for me anyway on The Hobbit, I felt like everything happened too fast. Like for me, the book felt like it went on for months. Their journey took a
Yeah,
while,
that's-
and
that's
then it seemed like they took an Uber, got some chicken nuggets, and ended up at the mountain.
That's fair enough.
I feel like the decision to include the appendices was a bit of a mistake. Given that most of the detail that you get in The Hobbit was written after the original book was written, it was added in afterwards by Tolkien. I think they bit off a lot more than they could chew, and I think if they had stuck to
The actual book.
The
then
actual
it would have flowed
book,
better.
it would have flowed a lot
Like,
better.
The romance people tend to
Yeah.
see a bit forced, but that
Yeah, I think if they had just stuck to what they could handle, it would have been
the
a whole lot
extended versions
better.
are really good as well.
Okay.
But yeah,
Right.
moving on.
No, Rich, we're gonna end it with this
Yeah.
on The Hobbit. Claim you're such a fan. Name all the dwarves.
Most of them rhyme.
Yeah.
Yeah, Feely, Keely, Biffa, Bofa, Bomba, Nori, Ori, Dory, Ori, Owen, Glowin, Barlin, Dwalin, Thorin.
Yeah, you got
Wow.
him. Fair play. Congratulations to you because I couldn't think of one.
Yeah.
Well, good job. You give him the last one. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. Like they all rhyme, and it's like Thorin. It's the same. It's the same as Pac-Man. It's like
Ben.
Inky, Binky, Pinky, Clyde. Beware,
Yeah.
Clyde. Is there anything else on that list?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just quickly
Please
go.
go
The next
through
on the
them.
list is A Cure for Wellness, which I
Yeah.
absolutely love. I think it being a bit.
You didn't like
Not-
the
not-
ending.
Remind me.
Cure for Wellness. The guy was like keeping his daughter, and then he like went to rape her.
It got disturbing.
Yeah.
I don't think the rape scene necessarily. You don't get to see it.
Mm.
I don't think it necessarily have to be in there.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, I think it was a bit underrated.
Definitely
Yeah,
underrated.
Incredible cinematography.
I think it was a little bit too hyped for its own good.
Yeah.
For its own good. If the marketing had like calmed down just a little bit, I think it would have gotten a bit
All
more.
I remember from the marketing was seeing one trailer. There's very, very little.
Yeah, I
Concept,
think
actually.
it's one of those ones though. You need to pay attention to all the details,
Yeah,
or you're
yeah.
gonna miss a lot.
Yeah.
Because I remember watching it the second time round and being like, "Oh, okay, I get it from the beginning,"
Yeah,
rather than
yeah.
being like, "Eh." But yeah, no, I liked it. Gold Bavinsky's a great director.
I think it kind of also people didn't go to see it because it had a very Shutter Island feel to it.
I still need to see Shutter Island.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
If there's one can bring up, I think Trumbo is underrated. I don't know.
I have not seen that.
I agree.
It's a really good drama, based on a real person, screenwriter Dalton Trumbo. He's played by Bryan Cranston, and it's basically about him being a screenwriter but being blacklisted for being a communist and not
Okay.
being allowed to work. Oh, it's amazing. As a screenwriter myself, like it touches me, and I'm just
Yeah.
like it's one of those ones I watch it and I'm like, oh, I want to write more, and yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's cool.
it's great. If you like Bryan Cranston's work, I definitely recommend it. Yeah,
I agree.
yeah,
Check that one out.
yeah. No, I definitely agree with you though. The Macbeth.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of like a missed one as well, because as soon as people hear the actual Shakespearean language, they're like,
It's
oh, I
a
don't
turn off,
understand it. I don't want to interpret it.
Visually, it's
Oh,
No, they want Romeo and Juliet with Leonardo DiCaprio, where it's a bunch of Americans trying to do Shakespeare.
Gross.
I could do a whole podcast about why Americans should never touch Shakespeare.
Yes, because the accent.
Yeah.
Or Martin
Wherefore
Scorsese's
art
Where
version
art
of
thou,
Romeo.
Romeo?
Yeah, it's just. I mean, not quite like John Wayne, but.
Or I.
Give me Martin Scorsese's version of Romeo and Juliet.
It's basically the Departed, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
Wolf of Wall Street, but
I think there
it's a
should
sequel. Shit.
There should definitely be more Shakespeare movies where they actually
Well, you
speak in Middle English.
Well, you take it. Michael Fassbender's German.
Yeah. Well,
He's German and he's playing Macbeth and it's amazing.
It's a,
Ah.
I think the last there's a fantastic video essay I saw on it where this guy pretty much broke down, and he summed up by saying you can pause the film at any point and you can have what is on screen as a wallpaper or background. That's how well the film looks, particularly with the final
Battle.
the final showdown in the red
It's
red
like
and orange
a
mist.
giant
It's just
orange mist. It's like really cool.
Color grading is orange, kind of like that one scene in
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah.
Just
Very,
fucking awesome.
very nice to
Yeah.
look at. Yeah. Do you have another underrated, Alice?
Heathers,
Heathers. Ooh,
an 80s
interesting.
movie that I think tends to fly under the radar.
Based on what you've told me, I think it works better as the musical.
Did I made you watch Heathers?
Yes, you did.
What
Because
did
I hated.
Jason Dean.
Yeah, I hated him so much.
I think
What is it?
Heathers is basically
exactly.
it's-
Reese,
it's-
what is Heathers?
It's a high school drama that wanders into
Satirical,
murder.
completely satirical.
Yeah, completely satirical about the fact that like she accidentally kills one of her classmates, and the classmate is like,
Deified.
yeah, sort
Even
of
though
like
she's
Heath Ledger.
even though she's a horrible bully, all of these people now love her because she committed suicide, and suicide sort of becomes a glamorized thing in
Yeah.
that high school.
It's definitely worth a watch just for the satire.
And I think it's worth the watch because people tend to think 80s movies and they think Breakfast
Breakfast
Club
Club.
first of all, and then like Stand By Me and The Goonies. This one really flies under the radar, and I think it's one of Winona Ryder's best.
Yeah, I
And-
like Winona Ryder.
Mm.
But yeah, no, JD just pisses me off. Who plays him?
Oh,
Christian Slater?
Christian Slater.
Oh my god, I've never wanted to like headbutt someone through my TV screen more.
What is very interesting though is there's a very jarring scene in the first act where, spoiler alert, he pulls a gun on somebody in the middle of a high school.
Yeah, it's
And
really funny.
it's something that you would not see in a film now. It was
No.
pre-Columbine and pre all of these things, so
Yeah.
it's really, really jarring to see that imagery
Yes.
on screen.
Yeah.
Not unless you watch Japanese films.
But the way they sort of, it's all very like glossed over very quickly. They don't
Okay.
dwell on the fact that he has pulled a gun and tried to shoot somebody.
Yeah.
It's just sort of
Right.
played off as this comedic thing.
Yeah.
And-
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Yeah, it really is kind of like that. So it was very weird to sort of see that, be like, oh, he just
Well, yeah,
pulled a
but-
gun on
well,
somebody
I
and no
remember-
one's making a big deal out of it.
Yeah, because I remember watching it with you, and like that happened, and like I was like, okay, high school drama. Oh, did he just shoot someone?
Yeah.
That was literally my reaction. It was worth a look
And
if you like your 80s
And
films.
I think cinematography-wise, I think it was really good.
Tumblr loved it. I remember always seeing
The-
gifs of
like the
Winona.
costumes were so good and it captured the 80s really well.
yeah.
Worth a watch, I think.
Yeah.
Even if you just want to laugh at it, because there
Or
are
have a
some
look at the
there are some
musical.
glaring errors. What musical's great.
Musical's
Works better
great.
as a musical.
Yeah, no, the musical, the songs are really good.
Yeah.
Worth a look.
But yeah, Heathers.
Reese, you looked like you had one during that discussion, or was it just to
Yeah,
say those
I think
Japanese?
no. Elephant.
Yeah,
Columbine one. I think it was Columbine.
Oh.
It was like Phil showed it to us one time in Monday Night Films, and it was good.
I didn't miss that one.
Yeah, it was just about like the kids and how they got around to the Columbine shooting.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, the cinematography, as always with Phil, is pretty great. So
Yeah.
check it out. Yeah.
Just as an off thought, what is a film that immediately comes to mind for the people here that when you go, oh my god, I hate it, comes through?
Frozen.
Shrek 2. Or just Shrek in general.
It's just been memeified.
Yeah.
Because for me, Mulholland Drive. Oh my god. The level of pretentiousness. Having to go into the lecture after watching it and discuss it. Oh my god, I wish I'd stayed home. Or I brought a hip flask. I wish. Because I was just so stupid.
Would you say that's an overrated one then?
Oh god, yeah. Like, I like David Lynch's stuff. I love Elephant Man. But my god, I hated Mulholland Drive so much. And I love my abstract stuff, don't get me wrong. But it was trying so hard to like be like, oh, look what makes you think you didn't figure it out. And it's like, oh, well, fuck off.
I feel like this should be bonus audio that you maybe like put
at the end.
at the end. Just
rant
like listen
about
to
that.
Kyle's rant on
Oh,
my
yeah.
Mulholland Drive.
Well, it'll be like like at the beginning of First We Feast's Hot Ones, where they have like the guests say like a random intro part. It's just like, I fucking hate Mulholland Drive.
Were there any more on your list, Richard? Because I'm quite enjoying the list.
I mean, this next one I'm a bit unsure of whether to say it's underrated because it's Wes Anderson, but it was popular at the time, but no one's really talking about it now, and that's Grand Budapest Hotel, which I
Underrated.
I think it's
love.
at the time. It was
At the time, I think
it wasn't.
Yeah.
I think the reason why Wes Anderson stuff is kind of underrated is because mainstream audiences want more of a grander plot.
Yeah.
But it's really
very simplistic
quirky.
and quirky. Yeah.
I think
To fucking let's.
Is that there's personality in his films that make it
Yeah.
very unique to watch.
Go on, Reece, you're trying to
same
say
with
something.
Wes Anderson. The same like Wes Anderson, but an older one of his. I forgot. What
So
was
Rush.
it? No.
Grand-
Rushmore. Yeah, Rushmore.
Your Rushmore, that's the
Yeah.
one.
I think that's underrated.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
What happened with me in the Grand Budapest Hotel is that when it was being advertised originally and when everyone was raving about it, I definitely thought this is not going to be as good as everybody says. And when I watched it with you, I was like, oh, I kind of agree with everything they're saying though. It's like, I get it.
Yeah.
It's
I
so good.
Yeah, the main thing that Wes Anderson does is just how much time and effort is given into every
Yes.
single
Yeah.
one
And the
of his
heart
things.
of it is really nice as well.
It's
Like,
charming films you do.
Yeah.
I Love Dogs.
I still need to see that one. I've got it.
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
I haven't seen that
this.
I Love Dogs is great. Fantastic. It's he's that kind of filmmaker where every shot he does is just so packed full.
It's thought out. Everything he
Yeah.
does has meaning and purpose. It's just a joy to watch.
Yeah.
I just think it's like OCD on the film.
You know what? All I can think of now is the cake from Grand Budapest. And I just want cake.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just everything's so pristine and everything's so like cleanly done
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
Fucking
very
love-
satisfying to watch.
Yeah.
Really satisfying.
You know, yeah, Wes Anderson's one that I think needs more mainstream like thought, like, because I think if you were to give him some sort of like property, he'd probably knock it out the park.
Yeah.
It's the same as I wish we got to see Edgar Wright's Ant-Man.
Oh yeah.
I wish that
would've been
happened, 'cause
quite
I-
something.
Underrated Scott Pilgrim. I think.
Underrated.
I think that's one that fell by the wayside.
I think it treads very, very lightly on overrated and underrated
Yeah,
because
it depends on who
there
you
are
ask.
there are fans that are so big fans of it that they kind of ruin it a little bit and
Yeah.
make it overrated. Like it's funny and it's
that Rick and
good,
Morty thing.
but it's not that funny and it's not
Yeah.
that good.
I think stylistically and the editing, like the actual like the 8-bit stuff popping
Oh,
up and
yeah.
that, I think that was ahead of its time. And
Character design.
yeah, I thought it was
Fab.
great. I thought it was really something. I really enjoyed that. I think like if you were taking like Ant-Man and had that like quirkiness of Scott Pilgrim, I think
Yeah.
like if you had like maybe like some 8-bit stuff in that, it would have been like really
Produced a lot of like iconic quotes.
yeah. You punched me in the boob. Prepare to die, obviously.
Punch the highlight out of her bangs. Is that it?
You should punch the highlights out of her hair. Yeah.
I think Baby Driver is a bit overrated.
Oh, you bastard!
Yeah.
I
I've not
disagree.
seen that.
I think it's
really good.
just.
I think you'd
I
like
don't know.
it.
I'm
Probably would.
Kind of agree with Reese.
The idea of syncing everything to music. It just doesn't seem like it's. It was more of a.
I think
Gimmick.
that idea.
Gimmick, yeah.
I think that like being advertised and everyone raving that it was synced up to music was the part that was overrated because I think the
Yeah.
story was really good. The action
Yeah.
was really cool. Yeah.
The action was good. I feel like the story lacked just a little bit. I feel like every part of it other than the romance was
Yeah.
great. I don't think the romance worked.
Baby, why, baby?
was just, I parts of it were really good. The action sequences were good. I liked the music.
Yeah, if you can get past Kevin Spacey, just being Kevin Spacey now,
Yeah.
it's really good.
It's just a bit. Really?
I kind of agree that it was overrated.
I think reviewers and just people who know their film are kind of a little bit up Edgar Wright's arse.
Yes.
Because everything he does, they're like, oh my god, it's Edgar Wright!
He sounded so drunk then. Oh my god, I called out of
The spike in the audio.
But yeah, because I remember when that came out, they were like, oh my god, it's way better than his last one, and I'm just like, yeah.
What was his last one?
World's End.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, was it World's End?
I think it was.
Well, speaking of overrated,
You bastard again. I love World's End.
I don't.
It's okay.
I feel like it was meant to be the sort of ending of the Cornetto trilogy, and it went from being this like fun comedy thing that everyone really loved to being this dark, too real drama that nobody really wanted.
It's just a different style, I guess. Isn't it?
I'm still convinced that I'm probably going to end up being the Gary King of this friend group by the time we reach their ages.
It was just so depressing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make me want to watch it if I know I'm going to come out feeling depressed.
Yeah, no, the thing that... I think, yes, it's depressing, the middle-aged stuff kind of sticks out.
And the ending!
Yeah, no, I was gonna say that part where you find out he's self-harming and stuff, like, that's the part where it peaks at depression, but it's kind of blinking over.
I feel like the ending is everything was so pointless. The world ended. Nothing, there was no happiness in the ending for me. Everything sort of came to nothing.
Maybe that was the point of it. Not everything has to have a happy ending.
Well, if you think of it, Shaun of the Dead wasn't a particularly happy ending. His
Yeah, but
best friend died, but I feel like they gleaned some comedy from it. I think they didn't manage to do that for me with...
Yeah, but then...
There was no happiness
If
in
they
it.
had a happy ending, all three of them would have had a happy ending. Because Hot Fuzz ends with Danny being alive and they're good partners.
I like it that way.
Where years ago when?
Yeah.
I don't go to watch a film to come out feeling worse than I did before I went to see it.
Crucify me if you will. Come and get me. I'll give you my address if you're this angry. Hot Fuzz is overrated.
You dirty fucker.
I feel like the fan base is kind of
I think it's one of those things where
the Cornetto trilogy.
Memes, fans have taken over. I mean, I still fucking love them and I watch them.
If we wanted to watch it now, I'd watch
it.
Yeah,
it's a go-to film, but
I think
as like
people have
critically,
ruined
like
it.
straight memes and internet's kind of just stabbed it to death, and now
you know who you are. You all know who you are. You've ruined Hot Fuzz for everyone.
See, like, even before that, it was still at the bottom of my list of the
This is my favourite one.
Yeah, because for me, like, Shaun of the Dead and World's End switch in and out at my first place and second place, but Hot Fuzz has always been my bottom. But that's just me.
Another film I think is underrated is Train to Busan.
Oh,
we just watched this.
Kind of follows on from what Reese said about sort of
world cinema being...
World cinema. And kind of next to Train to Busan, I've got the Raid 1 and 2, which, side note, if you like John Wick and want John Wick times 10,
The Raid.
The Raid films, but Train to Busan was such a surprise.
Well, the thing is, I think, as an actual statement from this podcast, if you're fed up of the same Hollywood stuff, go a little bit further afield, because there are so many good things out there.
Yes.
And I'm worried that, because obviously they're doing an Americanized version of Train to Busan, that they're not going to be able to capture what made it so good, and then people are going to be like, oh, this is what they were raving about. And it's like, no, if you had watched the original, you'd understand.
Yes.
Because...
It's a great suspenseful zombie flick that was fresh and...
Well, the thing is, even as a zombie film, like... Well, you didn't expect the emotion to come out of it with that ending.
I feel like the way that we in the West do zombies has sort of become a little bit camp, even with The Walking Dead. But
Walking Dead, Zombieland, it's just...
And the way that we used to be able to capture human emotion within that kind of environment has completely changed, and the way they managed to do it in Train to Busan was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the problem with zombies now, for movies anyway,
They're not
is
scary.
it's not even about being scary for me, because I remember like seeing World War Z or World War Z, whatever you want to call it, and seeing those hordes sprint after Brad Pitt shit me up. I was like, nah. But when you make a zombie film, the perfect example is this new trailer for Zombieland 2, where the zombies are second thought and they become a prop gag.
Yes.
It's boring. It's the same with Walking Dead. It's everything
Remember
but
when
the
Walking
zombies.
Dead was about zombies?
Yeah, it's like when the zombies are the threat and people are trying to survive against zombies, like Dawn of the Dead being trapped in a shopping mall. It's great. It's suspenseful because it's like that's the threat. But when you when you're like, oh, they're just kind of this annoying sort of like, oh, it's rats essentially. Oh, there's a rat in my house. I'll get the exterminator.
It's similar
sort of
to
thing.
games now.
Yeah.
Like they've just become an afterthought.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, Dead Rising's kind of different, but like it was all about just like finding the new, unique way to kill zombies.
Yeah.
They're turning into more of a plot device
Yeah.
than a plot within themselves.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
It's like I remember World War Z like being quite interesting. I saw the trailer and I was like, eh, but then I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really
a good
cool.
film, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Train to Busan.
I think also 28 weeks later. Or just those two films, 28 weeks, 28 days later. Again, zombie
Apparently
films.
the third has been confirmed. I'm not sure if that's true, but
Also on Netflix, a French zombie film called Ravenous,
still need to get around to it.
which is, again, world cinema, very different, very unique zombie film.
Overrated, just as a thought, is every new horror movie that's put on Netflix.
Yes.
Because you can guarantee Uni Lad or Lad Bible on Facebook have been like, no, this next
So
one's so
scary.
scary, it's like making audiences want to vomit, and it's like,
So you made me want to vomit.
yeah,
Go away.
these articles are
It
making
made me
me
want to vomit,
nauseous.
but in a slightly different way.
Yeah,
It's just rinse and repeat, same shit.
tell you one that's underrated that I watched on Netflix that was actually really cool is The Lazarus Effect.
Okay.
That was pretty cool. For people who don't know what it's about, it's basically these scientists are counteracting death and bringing things back from the dead, but not in a zombie sense, but literally just
They
revive.
nicked the whole story from the New Testament in the Bible, so if you want to just get the original, just read that.
If you want the boring version, sure. But yeah, no, but no, that was really cool. Like it's only like an hour and a half. It gets really suspenseful at the end, but it's got the guy from Creep. Who's the fella that's all with Evan Peters from American Horror Story? Yeah, it's a decent self-contained sci-fi sort of suspense.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Enter Through the Gift Shop. A
What?
documentary.
Okay.
Is it Enter Through the Gift Shop? I think it's the one with Banksy. It was a documentary about Banksy.
The only one I can think of is Saving Banksy.
Oh. Well, that's a documentary you should watch. It's about, no. Yeah, it's about the painter, right?
Yeah.
Fucking graffiti guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Banksy.
Yeah. Fucking that
Why are you
documentary.
looking at me like I'm
I don't know. I'm
saying
just
something
taking my
against
anger
you?
out on you, Richard. You should
Blimey.
watch it. It's on Amazon. Fucking do it.
I think I've got two more underrated and I've got two overrated. That
Okay.
might
Fucking
be up.
speed round, Richard.
Alright. Going back to
No, you can
World
carry
Cinema,
on.
Shin Godzilla, brought back kind of what the original
The first one.
Godzilla was, which
The
is
one I-
2014.
no
Shin
1954.
Godzilla's the current.
Shin Godzilla's just after the success of the 2014 one, Japan kind of remade or done another Godzilla of their own, but similar to the original, that was a product of nuclear war from World War II. This is a product of nuclear waste from pollution
Oh.
and kind of attacked Tokyo.
Didn't
Really
it?
good film. And after that, there's a TV show on Amazon, Netflix called Archer, which is like a complete spoof
Oh, the cartoon. Yeah.
of James Bond. I just really like it. So just
Same guy from Bob's Burgers
Yes,
does the
yes.
voice. Yeah,
Same guy,
I
yeah.
want to watch that.
it's, I mean, it takes a while to get into, and the humour's a bit weird at times. But when you get into it, it's really, really good.
Yeah.
And my two overrated things I've got here, I love them to death. I'll watch each season that comes out, but Stranger Things and Rick and Morty.
Yeah,
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I agree with what you're saying, but I also disagree
Yeah,
as well because
it's-
fuck you.
Yeah. All right. Then.
I think a lot of the Netflix stuff, especially, gets a lot of hype.
Yeah, just because it's so hyped. I feel like if they just left it alone,
I think it's like, I think
hype
they.
kills it.
It's sort of like You can acknowledge that it's good and you can enjoy them because they are good. It's just you overdo it when you're like, it's so good.
It's the best thing ever.
It's not. It's
Pickle Rick is taking a life of its fucking own. I don't
I
want
hate it.
pickles.
It was funny,
It is-
and then
it's
it
good
just
episode,
wasn't
it's funny,
funny
but-
anymore.
It was a joke made up for an episode.
well,
of
that's the
a
thing.
TV
I remember seeing the jokes of Pickle Rick before I got to the episode, and I was just
Same,
like, that was it.
Yeah.
That was
It
the
ruins
joke.
it.
It's the same with like the Szechuan sauce, so that everyone went crazy about. I was like, it was like a 2-second thing.
People like.
They latch on to the
you know that
weirdest
phrase,
things.
find what you love and let it ruin you?
Yeah.
Or something, find what you love and let it kill you. People do that now on like a daily basis when it comes to Netflix shows, but they ruin that thing.
Yeah.
Find what you love and kill it.
And kind of same thing with that. It was kind of what we said happened with Shrek, Hot Fuzz. Just
Yeah.
the internet's kind of just taking
They
it,
love
put
it so
through a
much that
blender,
they
processed it.
destroy it.
It's weird because it's like they obsess over these things. They love them so much they refute. Like Shrek, I'm thinking of is. It's good when it came out, sort of silent, made a resurgence, everyone latched onto it, and now they won't let it go and look for something new.
Yeah.
It was the same with Cat in the Hat.
Mm.
I feel like that
horror.
it comes mostly, I think, from people of our generation, because those
There's
movies.
nostalgia with it.
Yeah, it's this nostalgia thing. I think people are getting really insecure about the fact they're growing up,
Yeah.
and they latch onto these things from their childhood.
Welcome to the philosophy hour. With
Yeah,
Alex.
I definitely think that's what it is. Though. It's like, remember what this thing that was so good when we were kids, and it was like, yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it's
Let it go. Let it go.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I love Ed, Edd and Eddie and Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, but I don't scream it at people. It's like I love the Batman Beyond shows and the animated Spider-Man shows from like the 2000s. I went out and bought them. I have them forever. I don't scream about them on the daily.
Everybody has that, like those few things from their childhoods they'll just never not love, but you ruin it for everyone else when you just won't stop talking about it.
Yeah.
It's like that scene in Logan when he's in the car and they shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Shut up. You give
Logan, where do people stand on that one then?
one of the best movies ever made.
Oh, Jesus.
So good.
Jesus
I
Christ!
cried my eyes out at the end.
I'm
I
going to say it's overrated, but I was kind of hoping for a bit more of a punch to the gut at the end. Like I was very sad, and I did have a giant lump in my throat, but I wanted to be bawling.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was.
Because
I was
it's
the only one
last-
bawling
it's
in
the
my
last-
theatre, and everyone was looking at me
It's
funny.
the
I was like,
last one, but I mean, that film it was just fantastic at the same time.
Yeah.
It was really good.
I think it was kind of underrated in a sense that like people like if you knew about it everyone was raving about it, but like outside of that it was quiet.
I mean, I would say it is
Possibly because it was R-rated.
yeah, so I'm thinking R-rated, and I think people might consider it a bit overrated because it's such a different take on the Wolverine character, and Professor X is a bit of a depressing film at the same time.
Hell yeah.
It's very it's completely out there in its own ground compared to other superhero films, which is a good thing and a bad thing.
Kind of like The
depending on
Dark
where you're looking
Knight,
at. Yeah,
in my
to an
opinion.
extent, yeah.
Yeah.
I think another underrated one, mainly because of Netflix, was 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Oh, it was so good.
Yeah. Underrated.
Because of the
So
Cloverfield
good.
paradox, whatever it was.
Still haven't seen that one. That just came out of nowhere.
It just everyone's moved on to that, and that was apparently terrible.
But no,
And-
10 Cloverfield Lane. was
Yeah,
great.
and
I
they've
almost
just
haven't
forgot
seen
about
it,
how
yeah.
great it is.
I almost didn't watch it because I hated the first movie so much.
I didn't even hate it that much.
I'm not going to get into why I hate that.
Yeah.
movie, 'cause it'll take me so long to get through all the reasons why.
I think the new run of Star Wars films are overrated as well.
Agreed.
Okay,
Awakens,
before we get
Jedi.
into Star Wars, 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Sorry, yeah.
What about
Just why is it underrated?
it? I think.
Because of the reasons you just said.
Yeah.
I just want to talk about it. It's a great movie.
It's
The
not talked
tension.
about enough.
I think I really love the idea of it. Do you know if it's actually like the end of the
True,
world or
yeah.
not?
Keeps you guessing because
Yeah.
at some point you're like, he's definitely lying and
I
making
haven't
this up.
seen the film, so
Oh, okay.
be wary of spoilers.
Well,
Yeah.
it's John Hurt being.
It's not John Hurt.
No, it's not. It's
the
John
guy- it's
Goodman.
John
Goodman.
It's, Sonic.
That would have been a completely different movie. But yeah, John Goodman in that sort of.
At his best.
Yeah, because my brain goes, that's Sully from Monsters Inc. This is really weird. But no, Rich, you'll love it. You
Yeah.
You will really like it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Okay, Star
Yeah.
Wars.
Yeah.
These. I'm not getting into The Last Jedi.
I mean,
because-
We're not we're not allowed to talk about The Last Jedi.
I enjoy them, but I think kind of Star Wars here, Star Wars there, Star Wars fucking everywhere. kind of oversaturated what I enjoyed about them previously.
It's Disney.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
Disney. They're
Obviously trying to... That gesture you just
it's
did.
the same with what I'm worried is going to happen with Marvel.
Mm.
Too much.
Well, I
Good
think-
thing.
much.
You can
I
have
think-
too much of a good thing.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the difference there is Star Wars went quiet for a while, and
Yeah,
then they
true.
brought it back, whereas
Yeah.
Disney and Marvel had this plan to go this long.
That's fair enough.
Same
But
with
I think
Avatar.
with Disney, it's like, oh, Star Wars, hype. Get on board as much hype as you can. Gonna spit this film out, spill that film out, have endless
Mm.
shit churned out of the arsehole processing machine that is Disney.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just, I think people are slowly kind of, at least with Star Wars, getting a bit sick of it because
Definitely.
they've halted a lot of the plans.
Well, the thing
for
is,
Star Wars.
we didn't have one last year,
Yeah,
and we're getting
first
one this
time,
year,
yeah.
and it feels like nothing's different. It's like, okay, there's Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think they released a poster the other day and I went,
Yeah.
alright, I'm going to probably see it just to see how the trilogy
There,
ends. but
there
I'm not-
was a description that had me somewhat excited, and that was apparently Rey was wielding a double-edged red lightsaber. So I don't know where that... Yeah. Apparently they are making Darth Maul TV series, which I want
No.
so bad.
It's on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I don't want to buy another fucking TV subscription.
Yeah, I mean, we probably ran out of TV subscriptions.
But yeah, no,
every day.
I think... it's such a weird thing, this new Star Wars trilogy. It's so weird, because I think... Like, there's just really good stuff, and there's really low stuff.
Yeah.
One of my biggest... I'll keep it brief, but one of my biggest peeves with The Last Jedi was the amount of comedy in it, for me. Because for me, Star Wars has never been inherently funny. It didn't have jokes.
Had charm.
Yeah, it had charm, but there's a difference, because what I'm thinking of is you built up this dramatic moment of giving Luke back his lightsaber, and
And he
he
throws
yeets
it
it.
away,
Yeah,
yeah,
he
yeah.
yeets it.
That's fair enough. I
Like-
agree with that.
Things like I wasn't a fan of the humour in it.
That's fair.
I also didn't like the way they kind of offed him. I thought it was kind of half-assed. He was supposed to be this next chosen one, quotation marks there, don't kill me. But
Didn't lead to anything.
yeah, it was just kind of like, tip of the hat, milady, I'm off.
That's fair enough.
But that's just me.
Anyone else? Or...
Alice has got
I'm
thoughts.
sticking to our agreement of we're not talking about The Last Jedi.
All right,
Because
then
it
we'll-
always
Moving
ends up in
swiftly
a,
on.
it always ends up in a
Swiftly
horrible
on.
debate, so no, I'm not talking about it.
Underrated. Good Omens. It's on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Yeah, but you don't like it?
From what I can glean from it, it's an angel and a devil getting together trying to stop the end of the world, right?
Sort of.
So I'm right.
There's a bit. There's a few bits that
It
you know.
was done in Supernatural, and it was done, I'm pretty sure, in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, you're treading on all our favourite terms.
So that's the problem. That's the reason I haven't watched it, is because I've seen it so many times before.
I like the style of
Fair
the
enough.
film of the. Yeah, I like the style of it. It's quite quirky in its ways.
And that's another one I feel like has been so hyped up that I don't want to see it. Just to stick to my guns. Like, have you seen Good Omens? No, and I never will. I never will.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Hype can ruin a good thing, because it's only recently that I got you on Breaking Bad.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
taken.
kind of refuse to watch it because the hype around
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
I know I will
enjoy
never
it,
watch Game of
but
Thrones. I will never
That's
watch
fair
Game of Thrones.
I might, is
It
the
took
thing.
me.
It's a big
it took
thing
me
to get
almost
into.
10 years. It took
really
me
is.
almost 10 years to get into The Walking Dead as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm only just now into Breaking Bad.
See, the thing with Walking Dead for me is, I remember when it started on Channel 5.
Yeah, I remember
That's
that,
how
yeah.
long, like, I have been with it since episode
Season
1.
2
You
And
are
was
not
when I
old.
joined.
Stop
No,
trying to make.
I'm not
it-
trying to make myself sound old, but what I'm saying is, I've been with it for so long that it really, really took a lot for me to go, I think I'm done.
Goodbye. That's the way I feel
Yeah.
about Doctor Who.
Yeah. So yeah, like when it got to the point where you apparently were killing off your main characters and you didn't, and you were trying to, like, it was a shit grab for ratings.
Yeah, that's all it was really. Because
Yeah, it was
their
trying-
ratings were failing.
It was
so-
trying to keep up with Game of Thrones. Oh look, we can kill our main characters too, and you didn't.
Yeah.
Eh.
One thing that's kind of popped in my head now is kind of one thing we've all said is when people talk about a lot of films online or something, it kind of takes away from the magic of them. But I'm thinking of films maybe that hasn't happened with, and I'm kind of going, okay, Alien, very good, highly talked about, many sequels. No one really seems to have a problem with that film. Same with Original Jurassic Park and Jaws.
Ooh.
So I was trying to think, is there something those films done differently that, because people still talk about those, and to the same level we've been talking about some other films this afternoon, but they still have the magic about them.
Yeah.
I don't really quite know how
that's
to
a good point, actually.
how to word it or where to go from there.
They're not memified at all,
yeah,
are they?
Yeah.
Oh mate, if you're in this one horror Facebook page, Alien is memed.
I don't want to go there. I don't want it to ruin it.
It doesn't. They're very unique memes. I'll put it that way.
Part of me wants to say it's because it was before the age of like memeing everything,
Yeah.
but
I mean,
Hot Fuzz was around before that.
I think it's
You can
because it sort of works better for comedy stuff and light-hearted stuff.
That's
Trying to
that's
make a
true.
joke out of something so like I don't know, horrifying or serious doesn't just seem to
that's a
work.
fair point.
I guess. I'm not saying that
Can't
as
think of
law,
any.
but like that's what I'm sort of thinking.
It brings up an interesting point though. What qualities does something have to have for it to become
Yeah.
that?
I think.
I mean,
Yeah, a meme.
Yeah.
And has meme ruined film?
Yes.
Yes, it has.
Yeah.
It has.
I'm just thinking about like the Alien franchise, and I think like there was just so much mystery around it that people wanted answers, and then they still didn't get it. So,
Yeah.
and even like, you know, that's a
Aliens is a separate podcast. I'm happy
Yeah.
to.
the thing is, like,
I'd love
the
to do a
new
podcast on Alien.
Blade Runner hasn't really been memified.
It's true.
And
I've
that was-
seen one or two,
I
but
think
not many.
Blade Runner.
Yeah,
what,
and
you
that's
like the
quite
new one.
new. Yeah,
The new one I think was critically very good, but
I think that was
wasn't
overrated.
well with audiences.
I think
I
that was
loved it.
overrated.
Did you
I
see
think it was a
Blade
bit
Yeah.
too long,
Yeah.
but I still loved it.
I enjoyed it. I mean,
I think that the only good thing I took away was like one of the main things I took away from the second Blade Runner was that Ryan Gosling would make a sick antagonist Terminator because he's just got that deadpan look.
that'd be badass.
Yeah.
I only saw the first one. I didn't like it.
Mm.
Reminded me
Well,
too much of Port Albert.
Mm.
It looks exactly like Port
Nearly an hour and a
Albert.
half. We've nearly made a feature film, everyone.
Oh, okay. We're on an hour and a half. They should probably wrap
You
up.
got your work cut out for you on this one.
The last film I'd say is underrated is Guy Ritchie's early work with Snatch and Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. They're just great British black comedies.
But that's why they're underrated. They're British humour.
Yeah.
It's the same as Shaun of the Dead. Americans don't get British humour, so it's not going to go that further afield. It wasn't until like a good couple of years ago that Shaun of the Dead made it to Japan.
Wow.
So the British humour is very, very unique
Yeah,
and self-deprecating.
it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it.
I could go off about Shaun of the Dead and like British humour because I've studied it and I know what makes it
Yeah.
so great. But yeah, I think there's a lot that
There's a lot we've
people need to start going further afield for
said.
movies.
I think that's kind of the gist of what we've
Because
discovered.
I remember there was I'm not going to name names, but there were some people who were with me when I was looking at the indie section on Sky Movies, and they were like, "Why are you on that? They're Indian movies." And I was like, "No, they're Indian."
First of all, what's wrong with that? Second of all, no, they're not.
Yeah, exactly. So like,
Buffoon!
exactly. So it's like,
You do the
Look
do the
at-
thing. Do the thing.
For people that can't hear, I put my hands round my mouth. I'm licking my lips to wet my palate before words
Hold on.
vomitly come out from me.
here we see the natural Richard Copeland poising his mouth ready to strike.
Buffoon!
So yeah, no, going a little bit further afield and
And not
trying.
always listening to reviews. Because
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah,
like a lot of the
I
reasons,
think I do that quite a lot,
a lot of the
actually.
reasons the movies are underrated is because nobody's watched them
Yeah.
because they've looked at a review and gone, "That's not worth it." Then.
Speaking of
Yeah.
out there, last thing I'm gonna go and say is I know people talk about it now, but Pan's Labyrinth, foreign world cinema film, but it's one of the best ones out there.
Yeah. Yeah, just go further afield for movies. You'd be surprised what you find.
Yeah.
So, thank you
Make
again.
up your own minds.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to
Right.
sequel to the prequel part 2 coming next year. Architect's album confirmed.